We'll be rolling the feet today. So you're going to take your tune-up balls. If you have just one ball, awesome. If you have the two in the set, you're going to take one out of the bag. A lot of options when you roll your feet. If you find trying to follow along in this standing position feels like a little bit too much, you can always come down to a seat and find the exact same exercises from a seated position, from your couch, from a chair. So totally up to you. That's the beauty of myofascial release. You are in control of how much pressure you apply. So we're taking one ball and 1 foot. I'm going to start on my right foot. I'm just going to show you our landmarks here before we come into a seated position or standing doing the work. We'll start underneath the big toe. So in this ball of the foot, I'm placing the tune-up ball. We'll start here. We'll move to below the middle 3 toes. We'll move to below the pinky toe, and then we'll come into the arch of the foot to close. So you decide what this looks like. So I'm placing the tune-up ball on the mat. Right heel is down. I'm starting at that squishy part underneath my big toe. Hands on hips. If I keep my stance quite narrow like this, I'm really in control of the amount of pressure. It's not too intense. If I hop my left foot back, take that left foot out a little wider, think almost like a warrior one. My hips are facing the top edge of my mat. As I lean forward, I'm going to be able to explore a little bit more pressure. So you decide what stance feels best for you. Take your hands to your hips if that helps support your balance. Looking down towards that right foot. When you start to bend into your right knee, think of driving that foot into the prop. So you're actively pressing that ball of the foot down. And start to lengthen that right leg, lean back. Big breath in. Exhale, bending, lean forward. Yeah, hands on a chair in front of you is a great option as well. Nice choice. Inhale, lengthen back. Exhale, bend. You might curl the toes in around the ball this time. Pulling back. Exhale, lean it forward. You might squeeze those toes in. Pulling back. Bend the knee. You might reach the chest forward as well. That's going to increase the pressure. Pulling back. Let's do that one more time. Lean forward. If it feels good, reach the chest forward. Push into your right foot. Squeeze the toes in. And then gently we'll peel back. We're moving underneath those middle 3 toes. So you can keep your right heel on the mat. We're under the middle 3 toes. Pressing down into the foot. Lean it forward. And then lengthen the right leg, take it back. And these are just options. A lot of folks like this moving in and out like this. If it feels better just to hold here, you can rest your hands on your legs or on your hips. Just hold and apply steady pressure. You can do that. If it feels better to stay back here, but drive the foot down into the prop, if that feels good, do that. You know, you're really just like earlier in our practice, and I invited you to make your tabletop your own. Myofascial release, you're really invited to make the practice your own. If we experience a dull and broad sensation of feedback, awesome, that's what we're looking for. If we experience kind of a sharp or shooting sensation, we want to move away from the motion. We don't want to be kind of pressing on nerves or getting that nerve type pain. Next time you come forward, pause. You might drive the right knee forward a little more, curl the toes in around your prop, gently push down, down, down. And then nice and slow, we'll peel back. Rolling to the pinky toe side of that foot. So you can kind of see the edge of your tune-up ball outside the edge of your foot, that's okay. Sometimes we do accidentally launch it out to the side, that's fine. Big bend in the knee, chest reaching forward if you like that deep pressure. I'll keep this motion really small, little bend in the knee. Shoulders stay stacked over hips if you like a little less pressure. And then try to breathe. For some folks, this is super duper spicy. Any part of the feet gives you a lot of feedback. If you have plantar fasciitis, that might apply to you. But for others, especially in this area in the ball of the foot, you might not experience a lot of sensation at all. And that's okay. Remember, more sensation isn't always the goal. By applying pressure, we're increasing hydration, or massaging apart places where connective tissues, muscle and fascial tissues got stuck to each other. So even if it doesn't feel extreme, by virtue of spending time and adding pressure, we are achieving the benefits of this work. Next time you lean forward, you might pause. Curl the toes in. Relax the shoulders, relax the jaw. Drive your foot into the earth. And pulling back when you're ready. And head into that arch now. I like to hang out towards the upper part of the arch of my foot. So kind of more up here instead of down here. But it's totally up to you what's going to give you interesting feedback, interesting sensation. So I've got my right heel down. My stance is a little more narrow. Again, if you like that deeper pressure, take your left foot back a little further. Start to lean in. Some people, when you're leaning forward, like to float their heel away from the mat instead of keeping the heel on the mat. So you can try that. That's going to be more pressure. And then pulling back, letting the heel drop if you lifted it. Bend the right knee, little lean forward. Maybe your right heel floats, maybe it stays down. Keep driving your foot into the prop. And pulling back. We'll do just a few more here. Again, this tends to be a bit of a sensitive area, so I'm not going to spend too much time. You really think of your right knee driving this movement. Right knee bends, reaching forward, pressure increases. Right knee lengthens, hips come back, pressure decreases. And again, if you're loving that intense sensation, you can stay, knee bent, and breathe. If that's feeling like a little too much, that's okay. Stay back here. Keep the leg long. You're welcome to keep working with this, forward and backwards or holding. Or one last option here. I'm going to turn to face you so you can see me a bit better. I think of this almost like making orange juice, so juicing your therapy ball. Keep a big bend in your knee. And then start to point the knee, the toes out to the right. And then sweep them around, point them in towards center. We're twisting the tissues around our prop while applying pressure to really help break up places where they've got stuck to each other, to break up any kind of knots that are occurring, and to help create a little bit more length or space. This twisting guy is pretty spicy, so if you try it and you hate it, don't do it. You don't want spicy orange juice. That's weird. Actually, that might be good. Anyways, that's all I got. You pull the shoulders away from the ears. Take one more breath here. And then nice and slow, lengthen that front leg. We'll come off the foot and find your mountain pose again. Standing nice and tall. And observing, do you feel a difference? Bottom of your right foot, bottom of your left foot. This one maybe feel closer to the earth. Reach the arms up. And gently take it forward. Notice how the whole back chain feels. So the back of your hamstrings, your calves. You lift your right hip up a little higher, and your left hip up a little higher. And notice what feels or what has changed as a result of the rolling. Maybe nothing. Maybe something. Nice and slow. Let's start to make our way back up. Switching feet when you're ready. I'm going to take that ball of the left foot, so that fleshy part underneath your toes, starting in that big toe area. And step your right foot back a little bit more. And you decide. And hang out, gently bending the left knee, leaning forward. Or you can move in and out of this kind of a warrior one shape. Front knee bends and then lengthens. When you bend the knee, you could curl the toes in towards the foot. And then release them as you come back. Just different ways to play. Feel free to go off script to make it your own. Right away, you might perceive a difference between your right and left foot and how they're responding to this work. Or you might be completely indifferent to the whole thing. If so, good for you for sticking with it. I think especially in kind of the fitness world, there's this culture that we have to really feel it. It has to really hurt my abs. I have to be sore the next day. It has to feel like extremely deep stretching for it to be working. And I think that's just simply not true. I mean, I think practice, repetition, perception, so increasing body awareness, noticing how does it feel? What kind of sensory information can I get from my foot? Not does it feel extreme and intense. I think that is more important to kind of cultivating a mind that's in touch with your body and a body that is capable of moving through your life with relative ease. Next time you come forward, keep that big bend in the knee. Chest might lean forward a little bit. And then easing off, we'll roll underneath those middle 3 toes. We are spending a long time rolling the feet today, kind of rolling discrete sections. If you're trying to incorporate this in your day-to-day life, I encourage you to see like which one of these placements gives you a lot of feedback, what feels interesting, what feels like it's serving you. And that might be the thing that you layer in. You know, you go for a long walk or you spent all day on your feet for like a work event or something like that. That evening you might roll that one part that feels really good. You definitely don't need to spend this long to get the benefits of myofascial release, but we know you want to spend at least 90 seconds, 2 minutes, sort of with each part that you're targeting under pressure. But I offer just lots of different ways to explore the motion when we're in class together so that you kind of can pick and choose things for your little recovery toolkit to find what works in your body. Next time you lean forward, curl those toes in nice and tight, pause, think of driving your left foot into the ground. And we'll ease off, rolling underneath the pinky toe side of your foot. Same options, you could stand, you could hold with that bend in the knee, or you can move in and out, bending that left knee and then lengthening it out long. I find this one always really challenges my balance. I'm going to hop my right foot out a bit wider for more support. I think when I'm a student and I'm watching someone else's rolling video, I sometimes speed it up to 2 times speed, which makes me a big hypocrite. So yeah, anyway, kudos to you for having to do this with me in real time. Next time you lean forward, keep that big bend in the knee, drive the left foot into your prop. If you want to curl the toes in, you can. Try to breathe, soften the shoulders, relax the glutes, so not squeezing through the bum. Take a big breath in and sigh it out. Coming up to that standing position, we'll wiggle a little bit lower to get into the arch of this foot. Again, remember the deeper or wider you make that stance, the more pressure you might be able to experience. So it's totally up to you what feels interesting. Like making my mat get all curled up. It's also so humid here, so I'm super duper sweaty. Sure you wanted to know that. Now you do. You're welcome. Big bend in the knee and easing off, or making the movement your own in some way that feels interesting. Hey, kitty. Oh, look at his little paw hanging down here. Hello, nice to meet you. Okay. Anyways. He does think the tune-up balls are his toys, so, you know. Yeah, I know, buddy. I know. Do you perceive more sensation on the left side or the right side? Does it all suck? Does it all feel like nothing? Next time you come forward, you might pause. Deep, deep bend into that knee. And if you'd like, start to twist that knee in and then out to the side. Toes move in and out to the side. Just finding, it could be super small, a teeny little twist. If you add the twist and you're like, yikes, this is terrible, don't do it. It's okay. And spend a few more breaths exploring whatever variation. If you are twisting, and like me, you're getting chronically faster, you might try to slow it down a little, really observe how sensation changes throughout the movement. Looking down at your foot actually helps train our nervous system, allows our nervous system to get better at picking up sensory information from the bottom of our feet. And when you're ready, we'll start to lengthen that front leg, step off, and set your tune-up ball to the side, and we'll find that mountain pose again. Feet underneath the hips, Hands can face in, or you might turn those palms forward, encouraging some opening across the chest. If it feels good or safe, close your eyes down and just observe, how does the bottom of the feet feel? Are you leaning into one foot more than the other? Let's take a really quick balance pose here to see, did this rolling help with our balance at all? Opening the eyes, find a focal point on the ground, or maybe a little dot, something on your carpet, on your floor. Get heavy through your left foot and start to lift that right leg. Hands can come to hips, or hands might come through heart center. We're going to move into a warrior 3 here. So start to kick your right foot back, lean your chest forward. Feel how steady that left foot feels on the ground. You push into the pinky toe side of the foot. Notice how it feels grounded. Or maybe not. Maybe it doesn't feel like any of those things. Can you push that left foot into the earth, get a little taller, a little higher? Think about pressing your right foot back into an imaginary wall behind you. Big breath in. And exhale, start to shift all the way back up. One more side. Left foot is heavy. Right foot is heavy. Hands through heart center. Float that left leg. Nice and slow. We'll start to lean it forward. Press that left leg back. And just observe. Does balance come easier on one side than the other? Nice. Are you holding your breath when you arrive in the shape? Where can we find a bit of length in the breath, a little more space in the body? When you're ready, start to draw that left foot in. Let's meet back in that mountain pose. One more time. Inhale, reach those arms up. And exhale up and drop down. Nice work, everyone.